You know, some people aren't lucky enough to have it that bad. And I know that sounds contradictory, and this is definitely a more privileged take, but this video is for the guy who doesn't have to go get it. There's a lot of people that I've met that came from decent families and kind of had a career path laid out for them, and they knew if they just followed that path, life would be fine. It wouldn't be super exciting. They wouldn't actualize their full potential that they know they have internally, but they're not going to end up homeless under a bridge. They're not going to have to worry about their next meal. So I found myself in this position a few years ago when I was in college. I was in a fraternity, having a bunch of fun, living that kind of frat bro lifestyle. And I reached this point where I knew that if I continued along that path, the next 40 years of my life were going to be silently painful. On the outside, you'd probably never be able to tell that I was miserable, but there would be that voice that would never go away that's eating me up inside that's saying, Ben, what the fuck are you doing? You used to have all of these big dreams and want to do all these cool things with your life, and you have just succumbed to the comfort and complacency that comes with knowing what your path is going to be. Because I think that's part of the big thing. Like, what makes you feel secure is having that clarity on your path. Rather than venturing off and trying to do your own thing, trying to build a business or do anything that is outside the norm, it's easy to just know, okay, I can take this step, follow the next step, follow the next step, and life's gonna be all right. You can predict the next 40 years of your life with a semi-accurate idea of it, and it's just not going to be that bad. But when you really weigh your options here, is that what you want? Is that what the 8-year-old version of you who had all of these hopes and dreams and wanted to be an athlete or an artist or an inventor or go to the fucking moon or whatever the fuck you wanted to be when you were a kid, would you be excited with that life? Probably not. Probably not. And to me, when I truly weighed my options and I thought to myself, okay, if I go after everything I want, if I try to build the business and it fails and I look like an idiot for a little bit, but then I can go back and then rely on the comfort and the privilege that I've had to then get a normal job and follow that path. Like, my worst case scenario really isn't that bad. And when I thought about it that way, it just made complete logical sense to go fucking attack my dream life and try to become the best version of myself that I could become and actualize everything that I've always wanted. And 4 years later, I've done exactly that. But not long ago, I was that kid on the other side of this screen watching YouTube videos like this in a nice home with food on the table, with clothes on my back, knowing that I really didn't need to go after it. My life really wouldn't be that bad. And this kind of complacency stopped me for a while. I knew that I had the safety net, so I didn't have to go all in. The pain wasn't high enough to force me to be like, okay, I need to fucking change right now. But when I thought about it and I pictured the rest of my life choosing current pleasure over pain, because obviously if you go after what you want right now, it's gonna be more difficult in the short term, but will you trade a couple years of a more painful experience, of more uncertainty, for 40 years of fucking misery, of silent misery? That's the worst, bro. Those are the people that you see when you're walking around and they just have no light behind their eyes. You can tell every day is the fucking same, and they're getting their little burrito bowl and they're not happy or excited about anything except for football on Sunday. You want to be that guy? No, you don't. But if you relate to most of what I've said so far, that means you don't have to change. It's all up to you. If you want to go after everything that you want, do it. Great. Up to you. But your life won't be that bad without it. So, how do you overcome this complacency? How do you not let that comfort win and you trade the comfort for the uncertainty and withstand the period where you don't know how it's going to work out and eventually end up in your dream car in your dream city with your dream circle of friends and live the exact way that you want to live? The first thing that you have to understand is no one will ever give you permission or tell you when it is time to change. You can wait for these external circumstances and, maybe even hope that something goes horribly wrong in your life, that spurs you into action, but that's just typically not going to happen. You can't wait for the life raft to come. You have to jump out of the ship and grab onto it. And if you genuinely sit there, take a second, pause, close your eyes, and picture what the rest of your life will look like if you don't make a change. Like picture waking up every day, going through the motions, getting married at 27 to a girl that you don't really like, but you're nervous that you're never gonna be able to find somebody better. You go to dinner with your coworkers and you just pretend that everything is fine and that you never had any ambitious goals or dreams, and life is just completely dull, but you have accepted that that is your outcome, that that is the next 40 years of your life, and you're just gonna stay there and follow the path, and eventually you're gonna die and your kids are gonna do the same, and you're never gonna leave your hometown and all of this shit. It's just gonna be painfully dull. Sit there and picture that and try to feel those exact emotions that you would feel, that you would bury underneath all of that. And when you do this, doesn't the answer become obvious? Doesn't it make logical sense to just try, just see if you can fucking do it, because you don't want to be 85 on your deathbed, or hopefully 95 maybe, if you want to make it that long, on your deathbed, thinking about, damn, I wish I would have taken the chance in my 20s. And I know you know it's possible. You know it's possible. You see all these kids online, you see people like me who are making money, living our dream lives, and maybe you think, oh, like they just have rich parents, or they're scamming, or they got lucky in some way. Nah, motherfucker. Like, I've met 15-year-old kids who are making 10 grand a month. I got this kid in my coaching program, Michael, who is about to hit his first 10K a month at 15 years old. This kid's going to middle school, basically, writing copy after class, getting after it, like attacking every single day, going and getting clients, doing everything that I tell him, and he's crushing it. Like, no offense to Michael if you're watching this, but do you think you're smarter than a 15-year-old? You can fucking do the same thing. And you know that. That's the thing. Like, you know that you can do it. You're just letting that doubt creep in. Like, if you're getting a marketing degree or a finance degree, you really think it's that much harder to go get a couple marketing clients and go get a copywriting client? Like, no. You use your people skills, you get on the phone, you offer somebody some services, they say no, then you find somebody else, they say no too, you find somebody else, they say yes, you go above and beyond, you get really good results for them, and then your life has changed forever. But the difference is nobody's gonna be telling you what to do. Nobody's gonna be telling you step by step, you have to do this, this, and this, because there's gonna be little roadblocks and hurdles and things that you don't know how to handle, and you're letting the fear of all of that stop you from ever taking the leap. And you see, this complacency doesn't just exist at the start. Like, maybe you'll hit 10K a month or 20K a month and you'll feel that complacency again. You'll feel like, oh, I could just stay here. I could just stagnate and, you know, keep my living expenses where they are, and life will be pretty good. But I had a mentor say something to me recently that helped me get through this, because for most of 2024, I was in this kind of complacency stagnation phase. Like, business was good, agency has been coasting, and I could just kind of sit back and let the systems run themselves, and my income would fluctuate anywhere from 60 to 140K a month over the course of the entire year, and I just wasn't putting in that much effort to do so. And then I reached this point where I was like, fuck, man, if I can do this with 20 to 30% effort, like, what can I do with 80% or 100%? And I was telling my mentor this, and he said, just remember, if life is this good at your current level, imagine what it will be like levels above that. And when I think about that, I'm like, damn, Unc, you are fucking right. Like, yes, life is great right now, but I do have this lingering anxiety, or for the majority of last year, I had this lingering voice in the back of my head that's like, bro, you're not really pushing as hard as you could. You know you could go harder. So first of all, when you actually attack what you want, that voice goes away. And then you wake up every day and you're fucking excited, ready to go, ready to put one foot in front of the other and make more money and go after everything that you want. So the mental clarity alone, totally worth it. Plus, when I think about what my life would look like when I triple my current income, it's exciting, bro. And you can do the same thing and sit there and think like, okay, well, what if you're making 10 right now, what happens when you're at 50? What happens when you never have to think about a single bill? You can tip really well, you can buy a new car, you can support your family. Like, that should fire you up when you just sit there and think about that. I wanna get a penthouse, I wanna get a new supercar, I wanna make sure my team is super well paid and they're able to make 6 figures a year just from me alone. Like, that sounds sick, and most importantly, I want to actualize the highest version of myself and not hold back and wonder what would have happened if I would have actually gone after it. I want to know, and I want to be a living representation of exactly that, of somebody who didn't hold anything back. Because you only get one life. And so if you're sitting here and you're like, damn, Ben, you are right. Like, my life isn't that bad right now, but when I picture what the rest of my life would look like if I don't change anything, and then I picture what my life could be like And I'm like, I'd rather do that. I'd rather see what I can do here. You know, the process to change is simple. It's difficult, but it is simple. All change is, no matter what level you're at right now, whether you're going from 0 to making your first $10,000 a month, or you're going from 50K a month to 100. The only difference you have to make is upgrade your standards. And right now your income is a reflection of your standards. So if you're making 20 grand a month and that feels normal to you, you approach every single month with the thought of like, okay, I just need to get to 20 and then I'll be all right. But what happens if you raise that to 50? What if you're like, okay, I know I've been at 20, but I need to get to 50. I'm gonna get to 50K a month. And every single one of your actions each day aligns with the person who is making 50 grand a month. How many pitches are you sending? What are you doing with your current clients? If you run an entirely different business, like what are the other changes that you can make that would help you operate like a $50,000 a month business owner? And then once you set your standards at a new level, the universe will try to pull you back down. This is your like subconscious brain that is, shit, like change is scary. I don't know. I don't want to send that many more pitches. I don't want to increase my income because then I have more expectations and then I'm gonna be spending more money and then I have to pay my team better and then that's just more responsibility. Like, why don't we just stay here where it's comfortable, where I know the problems that I'm gonna be dealing with? But you have to know when to shut that out. Like, you can separate your actions from your thoughts. You can take the actions despite the fact that you are thinking, oh shit, this is scary, I don't wanna do this. You can just go. You can just like not listen to it and do whatever the fuck you're supposed to do. And when you do that consistently, those thoughts start to lose power over you. And instead of being weak-minded where you can just continually find creative ways to talk yourself out of action, you realize that you can just act despite the way that you feel. And then you'll start to make progress. And with that progress, that voice that's trying to sabotage you will kind of change into this voice that's now rooting for you, because you'll feel fucking good. You'll see the needle moving. You'll see the number getting higher on the screen. And even if it doesn't yet, just the idea that you know you are waking up every single day and you have a purpose and you have a clear mission for the day and you know that you can move the needle forward and make your life better if you just take those actions. That's the best feeling in the world, bro. It doesn't matter how much money is in your bank account. It doesn't matter if you even are making any more money yet, because obviously it will take time. You don't eat the fruit the same day that you plant the seed, but that feeling will become addicting. You'll be like, I'm on the right path. And then you'll start to move with the tide. And you'll have all of these new opportunities opening up to you. And you'll be able to live in a way that you've never been able to live before. And you'll have this level of mental peace that just makes you feel like you are pursuing true mastery. Like you were put on this earth to do exactly that, to progress. And you'll keep that momentum going for a while, but eventually you'll probably hit another point of complacency. You'll reach this level of income that was like, oh, this is exactly what I wanted. I just wanted to get to 50K a month. And now that I'm here and my lifestyle is in alignment with making this much money, like, why don't I just chill here for a while? Then you'll get complacent for a little bit and have to go through this whole cycle of change again. But let's not worry about that too much right now. Let's just focus on taking step one here. Imagine what your life will be like if you never change over the next 40 plus years. Imagine what it can be like if you do change, if you do reach that next level. And once you sell yourself on the idea of changing, build an action plan to do so, and then start living out that action plan and approach every single day with that goal in mind. And when you feel the weight of the universe trying to pull you back down to where your old standards were, resist it. And if you just keep doing that, life will get better and better, and you'll become the best, truest version of yourself, and you'll be really happy that you chose this route instead of the comfortable one. Anyway, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you want to work with me directly, the link is in the description to do so. Like, subscribe, comment, share this with your grandma. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.